The Ministry of Education, Student Support Services Division, Guidance and Counseling Unit, Northeastern Education District presents.
Good day, boys and girls, and it's now time for Operation Preparation, a special session planned especially for Standard 5 students in this new operation phase. But before we begin, let's have a short activity. Today we'll be playing word pixels. What does this picture say? As we can see in the example, we have hands, and hands is on deck. So the picture says hands on deck. I hope you get it while we do the others. So what does this picture say? Take a quick look at it, and I hope you guessed it correct. Working overtime. Let's go to the next one. How does this word look? It looks like a big bowl. Next one, walking on air. And then this is a tricky one. We have a word, but it seems to be in a next way. And this picture is saying laid back. And then we have back, and then we have 5 words. And this picture says back in 5 minutes. I hope you were able to guess any of these pictures. So in our session today, we will be talking about the why of the operation, the importance of academic attainment. And what is happening in this picture here that you're seeing? This person seems to be moving up. The person is moving up to achieve. So the question is now asked, are you moving towards success in your schoolwork? So what is academic attainment? Academic attainment is getting academic or educational success. It's like getting a good grade in your weekly and end of term tests or being successful in the SCA examination. So academic attainment is important because it helps you develop your skills and abilities, and it can also prepare you for your future job. It is a part of your career process. So what is the next step in your academic attainment process? The SCA assessment. So we're going to talk more about the details of the operation. So the SCA entrance assessment is, first of all, an assessment, which means it assesses or it tests how much students have learned in primary school. It is also a tool for placement. That means it determines which secondary school that students will be placed. It is a standardized examination, which means that everybody does the same examination at the same time. And it's a tool for all to enter. Standard 5 students, 13 years and under, have the opportunity to enter the secondary school system. So how are students placed in secondary schools? So here's the criteria for student placement. The first one is parents' choice, where your parents sign up 4 choices that they may want you to pass for. The next one is the student's performance. How you do in the exam plays a major role. Different schools have different cutoff scores, you see. Next is the denominational schools right, where schools have a right to select 20% of their pupils who are of that religion. So schools that have a religious board, like a Hindu-based school or a Catholic-based school, selects 20% of the pupils that go there. We also have availability of spaces, where every school has a certain number of spaces that are available. Gender and location. Schools are categorized as same sex, meaning either all boys attend or all girls attend, and then we have mixed schools where boys and girls attend. Students are placed also where they live. So if you are living in South, you will not be placed in a school in Tobago. And then multiple births. If you are a twin, they go to the same school. So let's learn more about the 30% rule. Generally, a student must score above 30% to be placed in a secondary school. However, if a student scores below 30% and is 13 years and under, he or she may have to resit the next year. But if a student scores under 30% and is over 13 years old, that student would be placed in a secondary school. So you may have to resit or choose to repeat the examination. Now there's some good to it. You improve your chances of success at secondary school. You also enhance your academic skills so you can do better the second time. More so, you develop mentally and emotionally, and you gain the confidence that is needed for secondary school. So it's a good thing to repeat once you put the right effort in. So some performance information. Secondary school placement is based especially on your academic performance or marks. Every school has cutoff scores. So in this table, we see an example of cutoff scores from 2008. At Arima Central, it is a mixed school, meaning both boys and girls attend, and it's a 7-year school. A school can either be 5 years, where the students complete only the CSEC examination, or 7 years, where they go on for 2 additional years and do the CAPE examination. So for this school at 2008, the required lower percentage was 70%. So you needed at least 70% on the exam to even be considered as attending this school. And the upper required score was 85%. As we can see, different schools have different upper and lower required scores or percentages. And this is where our academic scores play an important role. So here are some things that you need to remember. There are different things that affect the placement process. You see, they have many students trying to go to schools with limited spaces. When you miss one of your choices, they go down to the other choices. So the availability of spaces oftentimes affect where you go. This is why it's important to have a range in your school selections. So here's an example of the selection process. You may have had your choices 1 to 4 Trinity colleges, Northeastern, Arima Central, Swaha, Hindu College. But on the examination, your percentage was 69%. Based on your results, we can see that choice 1 is out because you do not have the minimum scores of 75%. We can also see that choice 2 is out because you did not receive the minimum scores of 70%. Also, choice 3 is out because you don't have the 70% that is needed to go to Arima Central Secondary. So now we look at option 4, where their required lower percentage was 50%. Is choice 4 the school that you would pass for? More than likely no. Here's why. Your fourth choice may be other person's first and second choices. And there may be no more spaces available for you to be placed at the school. So where would I be placed? Where would you be placed? Students that are not placed in any of their choices may actually find themselves placed at a school close to where they live, but it's not on their list. This may happen because you do not score the minimum percentages for your choices. or you may score the minimum percentages for your other choices, but there are no spaces available. You see, sometimes your second and third choices may be first choices for others. So, when you're thinking about secondary school choices, it must be based on your current performance. Look at your scores and try and find out the scores for the choices that you are interested in. Compare those scores and see if you're performing close to that score. Also, remember that the higher the score you make, the better your chance at being placed in the school of your choice. So, as we close off our session, I want you to do this personal reflection. Write down one or more secondary schools of your choice that you hope to pass for once you write the SCA examination. Ask your teacher or even research the minimum score for the schools you selected and also the maximum score. Write down the last score you made in the test and then decide if you are meeting these scores or if you need to improve. Remember, boys and girls, it's important to also put schools that are realistic. As I said, it must be a range. And if you know that you're scoring around 70 on a regular basis, then don't put schools that are 90 and above because it may be difficult for you to pass. Have a realistic goal and work towards that school. So, also remember that you have strengths and abilities. You are unique. Every student has things that they are good at. And think about what you're good at in terms of your work. What are your strong subjects? And then think about 3 abilities. 3 things that we know for sure that you are great at. Think about 1 weakness and how you can transform that weakness into a strength. Here's how we can do that. Firstly, you can revise, keep a positive attitude, remember and revisit your goals. As I said before, sometimes we have to be realistic. Yes, you want to improve, but also make sure that the schools are schools that you can reach. Practice, practice, practice. Many times with hard work, we can achieve anything. Be persistent and don't give up. Ask for help and celebrate the small achievements. When you go up in scores in your work, be happy and excited about the process. So, remember that anything is possible, boys and girls, with the right attitude and the right study skills. Remember your goals and enjoy the process along the way. This part of your life is an important part. Being a student is great. So always remember to enjoy the process. Remember that success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out. So keep trying. At the end, I want you to complete our evaluation as well as think about 3 of your strengths and unique abilities, 1 weakness that you would like to improve, and then tell me 1 way how you want to turn that weakness into a strength. If you have any questions, you can let your teacher know, or you can also send me an email and I'll be happy to reach out to you. So thanks for participating, boys and girls, and remember in this operation, I hope the information that you gain today can help you to select wise options for your school, but also ensure that you do your best as you go through the process. Bye-bye.